Today we're talking about one of my favorite cool season crops, fava beans, also known as broad beans. They're typically thought of as a crop that grows well in cooler climates, but I've learned a few tips that have helped me grow it successfully here in the low desert for years. And today, I'll share those tips with you. Here's why I love fava beans. One plant can produce beans for months, and the entire plant is edible. They handle mild frosts and perform well even when temperatures begin to climb. At the end of the season, the plants and roots enrich the soil. And finally, fava beans bloom in January at a time when not much else is blooming and the bees are so grateful. The ideal growing temperatures for fava beans is around 60-65 degrees. But they'll tolerate temperatures down to about 40 and up to 80. In cold climates, plant as soon as the soil is workable in the spring. In mild climates, you'll plant in the fall for a spring and winter harvest. Here in the low desert, I plant in October, sometimes as late as January, but the later you plant, the shorter your harvest window will be. Planting in the fall lets them produce in the cool season, and they'll go until it gets hot. If you're looking for a quick, cool season cover crop and you don't care about the beans, you can have these ready to go in 30 to 60 days. Fava beans tolerate poor soil. Remember, they're going to help improve it, but make sure it drains well. When temperatures are cool, you'll water less. As things heat up, you'll water more. I've had equal success with fava bean seeds and transplants. They're a little bit more forgiving than other types of beans and don't mind being transplanted. My favorite variety for the low desert is Roma. It produces beans even when the days are short. The most common variety is Broad Windsor. I plant 4 fava beans per square foot, about 6 inches apart. Plant them 1 to 2 inches deep. Beans like fava beans are a nitrogen fixer, which means that they can pull nitrogen from the air and feed the soil and your plants. To encourage that, I like to inoculate the seeds when I plant. This encourages the formation of nitrogen-fixing nodules on plants' roots. Keep the soil hydrated until sprouts appear. These sprout quickly, so you should see seedlings in no time. Fava beans grow tall and they can get top heavy. They don't have tendrils or wind around to support like other climbing beans, so you'll need to give them a little help to stay upright. I use bamboo stakes and clip each plant in place. Another option is the corralling method, where you place posts on the corners of your bed and run string around the outside. Either way, just make sure you provide some structure to keep them from flopping over, especially when pods start to form. Fava beans are pretty resistant to pests and diseases, especially in cooler weather. As temperatures rise, you might see aphids here and there. Ladybugs and lacewings usually help control them. Once it gets above 80 degrees, I've had the occasional blackening or spotting, often caused by a virus spread by aphids. Once that happens, I know the bean season is wrapping up. Harvesting is simple. Push them downward and snap them off or clip them off. Keep an eye on the pods. If you prefer smaller, sweeter beans, pick them young and tender, about finger size. As the pods and shells get larger, you'll need to shell them and usually peel off the outer skins for a more creamy texture. If you want dry beans, leave the pods on the plant until they turn dark brown, and then you can shell them for long-term storage. The shells are going to go right into my in-bed vermicomposting bins. Use or freeze them as quickly as possible. They lose flavor fast. Young pods can be eaten raw or lightly steamed. Shelled beans are delicious sautéed or blended into dips. Don't forget, the whole plant is edible. Tender leaves add fresh, green flavor to salads or stir fries. But the real magic comes at the end of the season with the chop and drop method. I'll usually let my plants produce until the heat finally slows them down. Then I cut the stalks at ground level and leave those roots in the soil. Then I'll lay those stalks down right on top of the soil. I'll top that with compost and immediately plant my next crop, zinnias or summer veggies. Those fava bean remains break down quickly in warm temperatures, returning nutrients to the soil. But if you don't care about the beans and you want the most nitrogen possible, chop and drop much earlier at peak bloom. Don't let them form beans. That will ensure those nodules on the roots feed your soil and not the beans. Fava beans are a crop I'll always make space for in my cool season garden. They're delicious, easy to grow, feed the soil and the pollinators. What's not to love? Is that too loud with the airplanes? We thought planes was all we were gonna have to worry about today, right?